Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. On this page, I talk about technology and money. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. I'm glad you found that YouTube algorithm brought you here. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I just want to thank, let's see, gained about 30 new subscribers here in the last month or so. So thank you everyone who's been sharing the page and the videos. I see some of the older videos are picking up and getting out into the algorithm. So thanks everyone for sharing and liking videos. When you do that, when you like and share a video, it does two things. Number one, it helps more people who are interested in this content find it. And then number two, it gives me an idea on what you all like to hear and see and encourage me to keep making content. So let's see, before we get into tonight's topic, I just want to do a quick check-in. Hope you're having a good week, good day so far, taking a moment to breathe, if you winded down from your work day and everything. So but yeah, okay, today I want to talk about some brand new data that just came out in the last day on Black women and wage inequality and the wage gap in the tech industry, specifically in the tech industry. Hold one moment. So we know there's been a wage gap. I've talked about the wage gap between Black women and white men, Black women and Black men, white women and white men and all of that. And so I've done videos on that in the past. Data out there has noted that Black women make about 62 cents to every white man's dollar. I believe white women are about in the 80-cent range to every white male's dollar. And then there's numbers for each demographic. So it's been known that just overall, not just in the tech industry, that there is wage inequality and pay inequities between different genders and races. That's not anything new. But what is interesting about this new data that just came out, it specifically focuses on the tech industry. So if you're a new subscriber, you just found me on from one of the TikTok videos. I work in tech. I've worked in tech for over 19 years, not about 19 years or so, as an informatician, registered nurse working in tech, a STEM career. So when I saw this data and this report, it definitely caught my attention. Actually, it came through with an article here. I'm going to share my screen so y'all can see it here. So this is a brand new article that just came out yesterday. And as always with these videos, I'll be sure to leave a link to the article and any data that I show. Um, I'll be sure to leave a link below so you can look at that for yourself. Hold one moment. Just give me one momentary pause here. Hold one moment. Daddy, can you turn that TV down just a little bit? Oh, no, Betty, I'll go in the bedroom. I just realized I think the TV in the bedroom may be picking up background. I'll go in the bedroom. Picking up. I just realized that. Okay. Okay. I'm back, y'all. All right. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. Just bear with me. I had to change my seat, change where I was sitting. I don't have my normal setup here tonight, so I had to improvise, which is another reason why I'm not on camera. So okay, but yeah, y'all. So here, let me share my screen. So this article that just came out yesterday on June 27, 2022. from it's in Biz Women, and as always, I'll be sure to um, share a link in the description box to everything so you can go and read the article at depth in depth for yourself. So this article, Black women seeking jobs in tech lost ground on pay offers last year. Now, this really caught my attention because I know it's been the last, year, past couple of months has been dubbed as the Great Resignation. People are leaving their jobs, taking on new jobs. I have also heard from HR professionals that it is talent wars. That there's lots of positions out there. Folks are leaving different companies and going to other companies for higher wages or better work life balance. Like if they want to be fully remote or moving locations to areas with a lower cost of living, etc. So it's really interesting. So this article, and I'll get into the article here in a moment. This article is based on hired 2022 impact report. So this is their sixth year of putting out their state of wage inequality in the tech industry report. And this is my first time looking at their data. And so, if you're not familiar with Hired, it's one of those platforms that are for job seekers and also for companies looking to fill positions, different types of positions. I believe in tech. I have never gone to their website, I'll be honest, but I have read through this report that I will share here in a moment. But first, let's get into this article, okay? Because this is what piqued my interest and got me interested in this. And I've talked about in the past around pay, which is why I'm such an advocate for not just Black women, but all women taking control of your money and your finances, paying down debt or paying off debt, getting on a budget, sticking to it, saving for retirement, being wise with your finances. That's for all women. Well, really for all people, but for definitely for women, because we know that there are pay inequities and wage gaps out there. Um, and I've talked about it before. I think I've done some videos before. I'm not a finance professional by any means. I do like reading about money and wealth and doing different things and just being aware of different strategies for maintaining, my financial life, that piece of my life. Okay, so let's get into this article. Black women seeking jobs in tech lost ground on pay offers last year, which is really interesting. So companies offered Black women lower salaries in 2021 relatively to their white male counterparts than they did the year before. And that's according to this new report. So it goes on to say Black women who are seeking tech jobs receive even lower salary offers last year than they did the year before. So for every $1 of base salary company. So that's really key because it's this data, and I'll get into the methodology here in a moment. This data is based on base salaries, right? So it just take in account like the base salary, not any, if you have any equity in a company like stocks or benefit, other things, right? Because jobs are not just how much you get paid. It's not just your salary. But anyway, so this data is based on base salary. So for every $1 of base salary companies, for every $1 of base salary, companies offered white male candidates for tech jobs. That's key here. In 2021, they offered 92 cents to Black female candidates. And again from higher. So that was down from 94 cents for every dollar from male candidates in 2022, according to this report that just came out. Okay. So in 2020, for every $1, Black women were offered 94 cents. But in 2021, these companies offered 2 cents less, 92 cents to Black female candidates. And I was like, why the decline? So they do talk about it in this article. It goes on to say, quote, the state of Black candidates in our 2021 data actually showed a decline in progress, and there's still ample room for improvement, end quote. So it doesn't include data on salaries or pay gaps among a company's existing employees, right? So it's just the new hires or people who offers, new people who offers were being made to. But here's what was really interesting. Um, so Hire attributed the gap in the salary offers in part to lower pay expectations by Black women. So that's saying, if you're a Black woman working in tech, either you don't know what your worth, what your value is in the job marketplace, or don't think that you can get more, or just not aware. So, but the data shows that Black women had lower pay expectations. Okay. So for every dollar white male job seekers listed as their preferred salary on Hired job board site, Black women listed 91 cents. So lower salary expectations and demands are then correlated with lower pay offers, according. So that with this data and analysis they did, they're correlating because these candidates are expecting lower pay and demanding lower pay, then they are getting that, right? So one factor is that they're attributing to that is that Black women left the labor force in higher rates than women of other races, and that's within the last year. And they're also saying that it's possible the lower salaries offered Black women encourage them to expect lower pay. So not only potentially, were they demanding less, but because these companies offered less, it encouraged Black women as they're, applying to these jobs, getting interviews, getting offers to being encouraged and expecting actual lower pay. But interesting thing, what's really interesting when you juxtapose um, Black women against races of other women was women in other races actually saw gains in their salary offers, meaning that year over year, the amount being offered to women in other races increased. So while Black women's salary offers went decline relative to that, white women tech workers in 2021 were offered 95 cents. In comparison to 2020, they were at 93 cents. So let me say that again. So companies offered white women tech workers 95 cents in 2021 for every dollar offered to white male candidates, up from 93 cents in 2020. And then for Latino workers in 2020, they were offered 91 cents to every white male's dollar. In comparison to 2021, Latino workers were offered 93 cents for every dollar. So while these other races, and I do believe they talk about the Asian women and men further on into the article. So where Black women went down 2 cents in their offers in tech. Again, this is for tech. Women of other races, their dollar offers went up. Okay. And then even beyond white male workers, so we've talked about Black women, white women, Latino women, and white males. Now, I don't know if they called out Black male offers in this article or in the data. But anyway, so now white male workers fared even better. So this is going on where they're talking about Asian men. So companies offered Asian male tech workers $1.04 for every $1 they offered their white male counterparts. And that's up from $1.01 in 2020. And then Hispanic men, they offered 99 cents for every $1. And then again, that was also up from 96 cents in 2020. So it's really interesting. Okay. So whereas Black women offers in tech went down, white women and Latino women went up, Asian men went up, and Hispanic men went up. Really interesting. Okay. I would like to call out that they did not include black men in here. But okay. So then across gender lines, the gap in salary offers differed by job title. So in the United States, the biggest gap was among developer operations workers. So in that field, women were offered salaries that were 4.5% lower than those offered men. So that's across all races, right? Black, white, Latina, however, different races. So overall, those salaries were lowered. And then, but interestingly enough, for product management jobs, women were actually offered salaries that were 0.5% higher than their male counterparts. Now, to me, 0.5% is not a lot. It's not statistically significant. 0.5%. An interest rate on money is pretty good. It's not even that good. I don't know. So it's 0.5% higher. Women for product management roles, women were offered more than males. So it's really interesting. And then they go on to segregate the data out by location. So, for example, female tech workers in Northern California, including the Bay Area, Sacramento, San Joaquin, Yolo counties, etc., were offered 95 cents in salary for every dollar offered to men in 2021, a rate that was unchanged from the year before. So that's really interesting. Okay. Then they go on to see that, again, further segmenting the data out by women in different areas of the country. Women in Denver, Colorado got the best salary offers. They had the narrowest salary gap. They were offered 98 cents for every $1 offered to men. Now, again, this is women of all races. I just want to make sure they, just based on, what you heard earlier from this article, this is now grouping all women together. So women in Denver were offered 98 cents for every $1 offered to men, which was up 93 cents, up from 93 cents in 2021. um Maybe they meant 2020, but in 2020, 21, it says. And those women working in New York had the widest pay equity gap or inequity gap in the United States. They were offered 93 cents for every dollar offered to men, and that was no change. And then it goes on to say women seeking remote positions were offered less on average than those who are local. um and then it talks a little bit more about remote versus like being a local job, and then talking about better with diversifying the pool of candidates, doing interview offers. Again, that they dig into that in the article, etc. So just give me one moment. I want to do a quick time check. Okay, yeah, because I didn't want this live to go on too long. But now I'm going to talk a little bit about, before I do my key takeaways, because this is really interesting to me. So you can get the Hires 2022 Impact Report. Now, I did download it. Let me tell you, I'll leave a link below. I'm just letting you know how if you don't know how it usually goes, you get these reports. And you can download them. They want your name, your email, your name, your contact information, so they can add you to their mailing list. So I'm just forewarned, just letting you know that. And then, um, and they want to know where you work. So I'm just letting you know. So, sometimes in this case is the same. These reports are, another way to market a company's services, which, understandably so. So you can get it from their inequality report from hired.com. And again, I'll leave a link below. And they talk about the key takeaways, fewer interview requests for men, um, race impacting the volume of interview requests for candidates. Again, talking about the gender wage gap by location, which I talked about here a minute or two ago, and gaps for remote roles. So let's talk briefly about the methodology, because that's one thing I'm always interested in when I read about, this report says what, or this data analysis said X, Y, and Z. I'm always interested in, like, okay, what is your methodology? The informatician in me always want to know, like, what is this data based on? That's just me. I always like to know that. So if you bear with me, I'm going to pull up the methodology. I won't share it here because they do want you to download the report. You get you it's free download, but they want your information and all that, so I won't share it here. But anyway, so the methodology is based on their proprietary data by their strategy and analytics team, based on from salary offers and candidate salary expectations from their marketplace from January of 2018 through December of 2021. It is voluntary, self-reported demographic data. So I want to call that out, because people can put, just about anything when it's self-reported like that. But is the results are based on candidates, how they identify, if present, if that data was there before considering the predicted gender classifier. And they only use data in this report for candidates from candidates with unambiguous gender classifications. So the salaries include the base pay, talked about that already, and drawn from a sample set of more than 819,000 interview requests and job offers facilitated with over 3,900 participating companies and more than 120,000 job seekers. Okay, so I just wanted to share the method, what the methodology these numbers and percentages are based on. I'm always interested in that. But just a few key takeaways when I read this report, when I read this article, and in the impact report, in the survey results, they give you a glossary. um they talk a little bit about discrimination. They do give some key steps, and what companies can do. And then, further down, of course, they offer their services um ways that companies can field, tech and sales roles with unbiased insights. They do have some services. I'm going to mention that. But speaking just from like a non-corporate point of view, just from like a personal, just momentary pause, y'all. Just give me one moment. Okay, thank y'all for your patience. I am not in my usual spot, so I'm doing some improvisation. Is that the right word? But just a few key takeaways, two or three things when I read this article, y'all, and I was looking at the data and the methodology and what it was saying about um, Black women expecting more, right? So having the knowledge is very can be very empowering, right? So when we are going into these interviews and vetting offers from companies and the base salary and the benefits and looking at the entire package, having the knowledge in the back of our heads that expecting less and asking for less means us, we will get less, means that helps us prepare ourselves to ask for more. So number one, we should know our value, ask for it. And then, that saying that the young kids have, know your value, then tax it, or add tax, know your value, and then add the tax, etc. So knowing your value is so key. So we can't go into these offers or vet these offers or negotiating with going into negotiations asking for less, because clearly we have the value. If we're being offered a position, there's value that the company sees in our skills and our potential for growth and our ability to be stretched and led or lead. So we have to know our value. That's number one. We have to know our value and ask for it. These other people are, regardless of race. And this number one is not just for Black women. It's for all women, women of all races. And I want to make that very clear. But since this article called out specifically Black women, so for this one moment, I'll speak to, we have to know our value and ask for it and not be afraid to. So that's number one. Number two, we have to negotiate. We don't have a choice. You have a choice, but literally you don't have a choice because clearly the numbers are going down. We're expecting less. Because we're expecting less, we're getting paid less. So we have to negotiate. And I know negotiating can be it can be intimidating, but there are so many great videos out there on TikTok, on YouTube. If you're not into the long, 20-minute videos, there's like I came across a great 45-second video on TikTok. I don't know, maybe about 4 weeks ago on negotiating. Um, so we have to negotiate. We have to learn the art of negotiating, practicing with your friends, and speaking up. We just don't have a choice. Okay, so that's number two. Um, Number three, this is the last thing, and I've talked about this before. Is we just can't afford to we cannot afford not to have our finances in order. And this is, again, that can apply to all women, but I'm speaking specifically to Black women. That's how I identify, and that's what this data and this article and report is talking about. We just can't afford to. With the pay inequities, the numbers going down, we cannot afford to not have our affairs in order in terms of like paying down our debt, having control of our finances, putting ourselves on a budget, understanding wealth building principles. If we have to pick up a part-time job, pick up a part-time job to pay down our debt, just being mindful, getting control of our spending, etc. We just can't afford to. And I had a fourth point, um, but I didn't write it down and I can't remember, so I do apologize. And again, I just thank you for your patience. So that's it, y'all. I just wanted to talk about this article. Am I no longer sharing my screen? Looks like I'm not. Let's see. Maybe I am. I apologize if it went away. Again, I'm just improvising tonight, y'all. But yeah, that's it, y'all. I just wanted to talk real quickly about this article. What are your thoughts? If you made it this far in the video, I know it's long. I didn't mean for it to go this long, but you're always welcome to leave respectful comments below. If you made it this far, leave a green heart in the comments. My contact information will be below. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video.